The grand ballroom of the Lekki mansion glowed under crystal chandeliers. Music filled the air, and over 200 guests stood in their finest clothes, waiting for the birthday toast. Marcus raised his champagne glass high, his smile wide and confident. Tonight was his 40th birthday, and he wanted everyone to see how successful he had become. But then he did something no one expected. "Before we continue," Marcus announced loudly, "I want to introduce someone very special to me." He stretched out his hand toward a woman in a tight red dress standing near the bar. Her name was Joy. She smiled and walked toward him, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Gloria, Marcus's wife, sat at the head table with their 2 children. Her face went cold. She knew what was coming, but she couldn't believe he would do it here. Not in front of everyone. Marcus pulled Joy close and kissed her cheek. The room went silent. "This is Joy," he said. "And from now on she will be sitting where my wife used to sit." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Gloria's hands trembled. She looked at her children, 10-year-old Blessing and 7-year-old Daniel. Their eyes were wide with confusion and fear. Marcus's mother sat nearby, laughing softly into her wine glass. His younger sister Linda had her phone out, recording everything with a wicked grin. "Blessing, Daniel," Marcus called out to his children. "Come here." The children hesitated. Gloria wanted to reach for them to protect them, but her body felt frozen. "Come," Marcus said again, his voice sharper this time. Slowly the children walked toward their father. He placed a hand on each of their shoulders and looked down at them with a cold smile. "From now on," he said clearly, "you will call Joy Mom." Blessing's lip quivered. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "Say it," Marcus ordered. Blessing's voice was barely a whisper. "Mom." Daniel sobbed quietly but repeated the word. The guests stood frozen in shock. Some looked away in shame. Others whispered behind their hands. Marcus's mother clapped slowly as if it were all a joke. Linda zoomed in on Gloria's face with her phone, still recording. Gloria stood up slowly. Her face showed no anger, no tears. Just calm. She took her children's hands gently and led them toward the exit. No one tried to stop her. No one said a word. As she reached the door, she turned back one last time. Her eyes met Marcus's. He was still smiling, proud of what he had done. But what Marcus didn't know was that the mansion he stood in, the one where he had just humiliated her, didn't belong to him. It belonged to her. And before the night was over, everyone would know the truth. What secret was Gloria hiding that could change everything? 3 hours earlier, the party had just begun. Marcus stood at the entrance of the mansion, greeting guests with a big smile. He wore an expensive suit and a gold watch that sparkled under the lights. Everyone who came through the door congratulated him and shook his hand. "Happy birthday, Marcus," they said. "You've done so well for yourself." Marcus loved the attention. He loved how people looked at him with respect and admiration. To everyone in Lagos, he was a successful businessman with a beautiful home and a perfect family. But inside, Marcus felt empty. He had grown tired of Gloria. She was too quiet, too simple, too boring for him. She didn't dress like the other wives. She didn't brag about money or throw big parties. She just stayed home, raised their children, and lived a peaceful life. Marcus wanted more. He wanted excitement. He wanted a woman who would make other men jealous. That's why he started seeing Joy. Joy was everything Gloria was not. She wore tight dresses and expensive perfume. She laughed loudly at his jokes and made him feel important. Marcus spent thousands of naira on her every week, buying her gifts, taking her to fancy restaurants, and promising her a better life. For months, Gloria said nothing. She watched quietly as Marcus came home late. She saw the lipstick stains on his shirts. She heard the whispers from neighbors and friends. But she never complained. She never cried in front of him. She just took care of their children and kept the home running. Marcus mistook her silence for weakness. He thought she was afraid to leave him. He thought she had nowhere to go. So tonight, at his party, he decided to take it further. He wanted to show everyone that he was the one in control. He wanted to replace Gloria completely. Gloria had arrived at the party early with Blessing and Daniel. She wore a simple blue dress, no jewelry, no makeup. She smiled politely at the guests and made sure the children were comfortable. She didn't argue when Marcus barely looked at her. She didn't say a word when Joy walked in wearing a dress that cost more than most people's rent. She just watched. And waited. Because Gloria had a secret. A secret so big that it could destroy Marcus and everyone who had ever looked down on her. Her father had been a man named Mr. Victor Hayes. He had built one of the largest real estate empires in Nigeria before he died. He owned hotels, office buildings, shopping malls, and dozens of homes across Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. When he passed away, he left everything to Gloria. But he made her promise one thing: live humbly. Don't let people love you for your money. Let them love you for who you are. So Gloria kept the secret. She never told Marcus. She never told his family. She lived like an ordinary woman even though she was worth billions. But tonight Marcus had crossed a line, and Gloria was done being silent. How would Marcus react when he discovered the truth? Gloria sat in the back seat of her car with Blessing and Daniel. The children were still crying softly. She held them close and whispered gently, "It's going to be okay. I promise." The driver, Mr. Tund, had worked for Gloria's family for 20 years. He was one of the few people who knew the truth about her wealth. He looked at her through the rearview mirror with concern in his eyes. "Madam, where should I take you?" he asked quietly. Gloria wiped a tear from Daniel's cheek and took a deep breath. "Take us to the hotel on Victoria Island. The one Father built. I need to make some calls." Mr. Tund nodded and started the engine. As they drove through the streets of Lagos, Gloria's phone rang. It was Mr. Akin, her father's lawyer and the manager of her trust fund. He had been handling her properties and investments since her father died. "Gloria," Mr. Akin said, his voice calm but serious. "I saw the video. Linda posted it online. It's already spreading." Gloria closed her eyes. Of course Linda had posted it. That girl loved nothing more than embarrassing others for social media attention. "I'm ready, Mr. Akin," Gloria said firmly. "It's time." "Are you sure?" he asked. "Once we do this, there's no going back." Gloria looked at her children. Blessing had stopped crying, but her face was still red. Daniel had fallen asleep against her shoulder, exhausted from emotion. "I'm sure," Gloria said. "My father told me to protect myself and my children. That's exactly what I'm doing now." Mr. Akin paused for a moment, then spoke with determination. "I'll prepare everything. We'll go back to the mansion in 2 hours. Bring the children to the hotel and wait for my call." Gloria hung up and stared out the window. The city lights blurred past her. For years she had been patient. She had endured Marcus's disrespect, his mother's insults, and Linda's mockery. She had done it all because she wanted her marriage to work. She wanted her children to have a father. But Marcus had made his choice tonight. He had chosen humiliation over love. He had chosen a mistress over his family. Now Gloria would show him what real power looked like. Back at the mansion, the party continued. Marcus danced with joy in the center of the ballroom. His mother cheered loudly, and Linda kept recording videos for her Instagram followers. The guests tried to enjoy themselves, but many felt uncomfortable after what they had witnessed. Marcus didn't care. He felt free. He felt like a king. "You see," he whispered to Joy as they danced. "I told you I'd get rid of her. This house, this life, it's all mine. And now it's yours too." Joy smiled and kissed him on the lips. The crowd clapped awkwardly. But then the music stopped. The front door of the mansion opened and Gloria walked back inside. This time she wasn't alone. Who was with Gloria and what did they want? Gloria walked through the front door with Mr. Akin by her side. He was a tall man in his 60s, wearing a sharp black suit and carrying a leather briefcase. Behind him were 2 other men in suits and a security team of 4 officers. The entire ballroom fell silent. Every eye turned toward the entrance. Marcus stopped dancing. His smile faded. "Gloria?" he said, his voice confused. "What are you doing back here? And who are these people?" Gloria didn't answer him. She walked calmly toward the center of the room, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Blessing and Daniel stood near the doorway with Mr. Tund, watching quietly. Mr. Akin stepped forward and addressed the crowd. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barrister Akin Adeyemi. I am the attorney for the Hayes Family Trust." Murmurs spread through the room. People looked at each other in confusion. What did that have to do with Marcus? Marcus laughed nervously. "I don't know what this is about, but you're interrupting my party. You need to leave." Mr. Akin ignored him. He opened his briefcase and pulled out several documents. "I am here tonight to make a formal announcement on behalf of my client, Mrs. Gloria Hayes." Marcus frowned. "Gloria Hayes? Her name is Gloria Okoro. She took my last name when we got married." "Actually," Mr. Akin said calmly, "she never legally changed her name. She kept her father's name in all official documents. And her father was Mr. Victor Hayes, one of the wealthiest real estate developers in Nigeria." The room erupted in whispers. People pulled out their phones and started searching the name. Within seconds, articles appeared. Photos of Mr. Victor Hayes at business events. News reports about his billionaire empire. Marcus's face went pale. That's impossible. Gloria grew up poor. She had nothing when I married her. Gloria finally spoke. Her voice was steady and strong. I never said I was poor, Marcus. You just assumed I was because I didn't live like you wanted me to. My father taught me to be humble. To live simply. To let people love me for who I am, not for what I have. Marcus shook his head in disbelief. You're lying. This is some kind of trick. Mr. Akin held up a document. This is the deed to this mansion. It was purchased 12 years ago by the Hayes Family Trust and placed under Mrs. Gloria Hayes's name. She is the legal owner of this property. The crowd gasped. Joy's mouth fell open. This house belongs to her? Someone whispered. All this time? Marcus stumbled backward. No, that can't be true. I bought this house. I paid for it. You paid rent, Mr. Akin corrected. The trust allowed you to live here as Gloria, as husband. But the property was never yours. Marcus's mother stood up, her face red with anger. This is nonsense. My son built this life. He worked hard for everything. Mr. Akin turned to her calmly. And the house you live in, madam, on Admiralty Way? That also belongs to the Hayes Trust. It was another property Gloria allowed you to use, free of charge. Marcus's mother froze. Linda stopped recording. Her hands shook. Wait, my apartment in Lekki Phase 1? Also owned by the trust, Mr. Akin confirmed. The room fell into stunned silence. Gloria looked directly at Marcus. I gave you everything, Marcus. A home, respect, a family. And you threw it all away for her. She glanced at Joy, who looked like she wanted to disappear. Mr. Akin pulled out another set of papers. Mrs. Hayes has instructed me to serve you with immediate eviction notices. You have 7 days to vacate this property. What would Marcus do now that he had lost everything? Marcus stood frozen in the middle of the ballroom. His hands shook as he stared at the eviction papers Mr. Akin held out to him. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. His entire world was falling apart in front of 200 people. This isn't real, Marcus whispered. This can't be happening. But it was real. And everyone was watching. Joy stepped away from Marcus slowly. Her eyes darted toward the exit. She had come to this party thinking she was about to become the wife of a rich man. Now she realized Marcus had nothing. Worse, he was about to lose everything. Marcus, I need to go, Joy said quietly, avoiding his eyes. Marcus grabbed her arm. Wait, don't leave. We can fix this. Joy pulled her arm free. Fix what? You don't even have a house. She turned and walked quickly toward the door, her red dress swishing behind her. She didn't look back. Marcus's mother rushed forward, her face twisted with anger. Gloria, you can't do this to us. We are family. Gloria looked at her coldly. Family? You laughed when your son humiliated me. You clapped when he forced my children to call another woman mom. That is not family. Marcus's mother opened her mouth to argue, but no words came out. Linda stood in the corner, her phone still in her hand. The video she had posted was already going viral. Thousands of people were commenting, sharing, and condemning what Marcus had done. But now the story had a new twist. People were posting screenshots of the Hayes Family Trust. They were posting old photos of Gloria, as father. The comments were brutal. He humiliated a billionaire's daughter? He's finished. She owned everything and he didn't even know. Linda quickly deleted the video, but it was too late. It had already been downloaded and reposted by dozens of accounts. Mr. Akin handed the eviction papers to Marcus, his mother, and Linda. You each have 7 days to vacate your properties. Security will ensure the process is completed smoothly. Marcus finally found his voice. Gloria, please. Let's talk about this. We can work it out. I made a mistake, but we can fix this. Think about the children. Gloria's eyes softened for just a moment when he mentioned Blessing and Daniel. But then she remembered how he had used them tonight. How he had made them call another woman mom, in front of strangers. I am thinking about the children, Gloria said firmly. That's why I'm removing them from this toxic environment. They deserve better than a father who treats their mother like garbage. Marcus fell to his knees. Gloria, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. You didn't care, Gloria interrupted. You never asked about my life. You never respected me. You thought I was weak because I was quiet. You thought I had nowhere to go. But silence is not weakness, Marcus. And now you'll learn that the hard way. The guests began to leave quietly. No one wanted to stay any longer. The party that was supposed to celebrate Marcus's success had become his greatest humiliation. Within days, the consequences came fast. Marcus's boss called him into the office. The company Marcus worked for rented their building from the Hayes family trust. To protect their lease agreement, they had no choice but to let Marcus go. Marcus was fired. Joy, who had promised to stand by him, was already dating someone else. A man with a real fortune. Marcus's mother and Linda were evicted from their homes. Their reputations were destroyed after the viral video showed their cruelty. Marcus lost everything. His job, his home, his status. And eventually, the court gave Gloria full custody of the children, with Marcus only allowed supervised visits once a month. Could Marcus ever recover from the ruins of his own making? 6 months passed. Gloria stood on the stage of a large event hall in Victoria Island. Behind her was a banner that read, "The Victor Hayes Foundation, supporting families and communities." She wore an elegant white suit and spoke confidently into the microphone. Hundreds of people sat in the audience, listening carefully. News cameras recorded everything. "My father, Victor Hayes, believed that true wealth is not about what you own," Gloria said. "It's about what you give back. Today I am proud to launch this foundation in his honor. We will provide housing assistance, scholarships for children, and support for families in need across Nigeria." The audience clapped loudly. Blessing and Daniel sat in the front row, smiling proudly at their mother. Gloria had finally stepped into her identity publicly. No more hiding. No more pretending to be small. She had used her wealth to create something meaningful. Something that would help people. Something her father would be proud of. Her life had changed completely. She moved into a beautiful home in Ikoyi with her children. The house had a garden where Daniel could play football and a library where Blessing could read her favorite books. Gloria enrolled them in the best school in Lagos, and they were happy again. Every evening they had dinner together as a family. Gloria helped with homework, told stories, and tucked them into bed. The peace she had always wanted was finally hers. Meanwhile, Marcus's life continued to fall apart. After losing his job, he couldn't find another one. Everyone in Lagos knew his story. No company wanted to hire the man who had publicly humiliated a billionaire's daughter. He moved into a small one-room apartment in Surulere. His mother and Linda blamed him for ruining their lives. They barely spoke to him anymore. Joy had married her new boyfriend, an oil company executive, and posted photos of her luxury life online. Marcus saw them and felt sick. One afternoon, Marcus stood outside Gloria's office building in Victoria Island. He had come to see her. He waited for 3 hours until she finally came out. "Gloria," he called out, his voice shaking. "Please, can we talk?" Gloria stopped and looked at him. He looked different now. Thinner, tired, broken. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness," Marcus said, tears filling his eyes. "But I need you to know that I'm sorry. I was a fool. I threw away the best thing in my life. I lost a loyal wife, a loving family, everything that mattered. And I did it for nothing." Gloria listened quietly. She felt no anger anymore. Just sadness for the man he had become. "I forgive you, Marcus," she said softly. "Not for you but for me. So I can move forward in peace. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And it doesn't mean going back." Marcus nodded, tears streaming down his face. "I understand. I just wanted you to know." Gloria turned and walked to her car. She didn't look back. As she drove home to her children, she thought about her father's words. He had always told her, "Never let anyone mistake your kindness for weakness. True power doesn't need to shout. It just is." Gloria smiled. Her father had been right all along. She had spent years being quiet, being humble, being underestimated. But silence was never weakness. It was strength waiting for the right moment. And when that moment came, the whole world saw the truth. Marcus had lost everything because he disrespected someone's quiet strength. He learned too late that real power doesn't announce itself. It simply reveals itself when the time is right. We've come to the end of today's story. I hope it touched your heart. Thanks for watching and staying with us till the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. See you in the next one. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from?